What's up, everybody? Working on my 2014 Jetta Sportwagen today with the TDI in it. We're going to do a quick oil change, and we're also going to do a DSG service, which is fluid and filter change in the transmission. We're going to bring you guys along. Maybe I can learn a thing or two. I've never done this transmission service, so we'll see if we can learn some stuff and pass some tips along to you. Maybe we can all learn something as we do this. We've got a new oil filter, new transmission filter, some oil, and some fluid for the transmission. We've also got a tool, special tool to get the fluid back in the transmission. This thing connects to these bottles. Hose goes up to the drain point of the transmission. You put a little compressed air to it, and it pushes the fluid from the bottle back up into the transmission. So we'll see how that works when we get there. Might be a dirty job. Hopefully we don't make a mess. All right, to get us started, we need to take some of the stuff out. The filter is on the top of the transmission, and in order to get to it, you got to take some of the stuff out of the way to get to the filter. Not a big deal. This stuff isn't too crazy to get out of the way, but I'll show you a couple things. First thing we want to do is disconnect the battery, get that disconnected, and get that pulled out. We're going to have to pull the tray out from under it as well. So I got the battery unhooked there. 10 millimeter, pops those off. And we also have a 13 millimeter down there. 13 on a long extension will get you down to that guy. You don't need to take it all the way out and just loosen it. It is at a little bit of an angle, so if you can't get on that bolt really good, it might be best to take this lid off first. Show you that real quick. Couple tricks here. This mass airflow sensor here, you want to be careful with this connector. It's easy to just get frustrated with it and yank on it too much and break the connector, and you don't want to do that. That's a really important sensor and connector, and you don't want to break it. So real quick, I'll show you this. We want to put our screwdriver in behind this and push down on it, and you can hear it click. That disengages it and it pulls right off. So you don't want to like push down on this or pry any crazy way. Just go in front of this top tab here, pull down, and it'll wiggle right off, just like that. So don't break that guy. We're also going to pop this off, and these we're going to tuck back out of the way and get our air box off. First thing you want to do with this guy is get some big pliers on this hose clamp and pop that off of the back right there like that, and then you have some T25 Torx. Take all these loose, and the top of your air box will come right out of the way. Then you can get to this 13 easily. Get that loosened up. Like I said, don't need to take it all the way out. The battery will slide out from under it. All right, we also need to take this lower air box out, get the filter up out of the way, and then this battery tray as well. This little guy needs to come off. There's 3 little clips, a clip there, and one there. Pop that up out of the way. Your air box will slide out right here. You have a push pin, little rubber pushes over a stud right there and right there. And then you have I think is a 5 millimeter Allen right there. Loosen that 5 millimeter Allen up. Slide this off the back side. And this guy will wiggle out. Alright, loose there. You got to wiggle it out a bit. There's your lower air box. There's also a tube, like a drain tube, that goes on right here. I dropped it. We'll dig that out and I'll show you how that's connected. Oh, there it is. This guy just goes in this hole right here, and it's just a drain for any moisture that gets in the air box. And it just snaps on. So when it's in there, you kind of, or you can just leave it attached. I actually got it out attached and then took it off. 2 tabs there. That pulls right out. Makes it easier to wiggle out. Next is going to be the battery tray. I believe these are 10s. 3 of them. 1, 2, and the third one's over here in the corner. remove all three of those, holds the battery tray in. And you also have a wire here. If you notice, this little corner tucks back behind this wire. I found it easier to get a trim tool and pop this loose. Give you a little more room to wiggle this out. Battery tray comes right out. And then our transmission filter is right there. We're going to need a 24mm socket to take that cap off to get to the filter. Before we go any farther with that, I'm going to go underneath and take the belly pan off, the shield underneath the engine, get that off, and we'll go ahead and drain the oil. All right, to get this pan off, we need a T25 and a T30 Torx. We got bolts along the side. These are the T25, and then there's 3 in the back that are T30. Go ahead and get these busted out. I'm missing one there. So we got 2 of the T30s, 2 of the 3. I'm missing one. T25 along the side, and then it just clips in to the front. No real hardware in the front. Oh man, I got mouse poop in there. I'll let this hang down and slide it out the back. Oops. Now that that's out of the way, we can get to our drain plug for the transmission and our drain plug oil pan. All right, pan's all drained. We're gonna put our drain plug back in, tighten this bad boy down. Nice and clean, 19mm, nice and tight. Now all we gotta do is put oil back in it. We're done with the oil change. Before I start with the transmission service, I'm gonna drain this pan. All right, oil change is done. Now I guess we can drain this transmission and get this filter out. I'm going to drain it first and then come back up and try to pop that cap off. That looks cleaner than I expected. That don't look bad. Okay, now that our bottom plug is out and everything is drained, we can use an 8mm Allen wrench to take the tube out. Taking this tube out will drain the rest of the fluid. Ugh. This is the fill tube that determines the correct level of fluid in the transmission. So we will put this back in before we start putting the fluid back in. All right, now we got that most of the way cleaned out. We're ready for the new filter. I'm gonna put a new O-ring on here. Lubricate that O-ring. Get a little on the threads. All right, now that the new filter is in and the cap is on tight, we're done up here and can assemble all this stuff. Cool, that's it up here. Now all we gotta do is put fluid back in the transmission. All right, now we can put our fill adapter in. Screw in, snug up against that O-ring. And then this connects. Now we're gonna pump fluid through this tube from up top, and it will fill into the transmission. All right, there's one. Oh, easy. All right, there's 2.5 in it. Now the directions call for starting it up and running it through the gears. So we're gonna hook our battery back up. right, there's 3. Alright, now we need to go drive it. Alright, final step here is to check the transmission fluid. I took it for a short drive, got a little heat in it, came back, and the last step now is to jack it back up, get it somewhat level, start it, have it idling in park with the transmission between 35 and 45 Celsius. Then we can pull the drain plug back out, and if I have more than a small stream of fluid, that means it was a little overfilled, and whatever comes out was overfill. At the top of that tube, it will stop draining, and that is our fill level with it running at temp. If I pull the drain plug and nothing comes out, then we're probably going to have to add some more fluid. So let's start it up. Got it jacked back up, level. We're about 40 degrees, so I'm going to pull the drain plug back out and see what we get out of it. Alright, we got nothing, so we probably need to add some. All right, that should do it. As you saw, when I pulled the tool back off, it was coming to just a dribble, just a really light stream. It wasn't pouring out. So that's evidence that it was filled up to the top of that tube, and just a little was kind of splashing over down from the tube. So we are full at temperature running, so we should be good. And that was probably right at 5 quarts. A little bit came back out there, but it wasn't much, maybe just a little bit of, I'm sorry, liters, not quarts, a little bit of that last liter. So yeah, that was 5. That wraps this up. Oil change done, trans service done, and thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Appreciate it.